All right, family. You live with the general. Y'all already know what time it is. We black again with the sacred science. I'm glad you're here. We gonna tap back in. We about to touch on from Nubia to India and Angkor Wat, the lost belt of ancient tropical civilizations. I'll correct that as I come out the video. Anyway, so we looking at, because this is our natural environment, the tropics. This is our, make sure y'all click and get over there to Patreon. Make sure you do that now. Get a video a thumbs up, like it because you love it. We black in the house. And so we talking about the tropics, all the great civilizations that, come up in this area. This is the home of our people. This is where we come from. We don't come from no north. Thank you, family. Thank you. We don't come from no north. We come from the equator. Okay, that's where we moved out in the areas of orange is where we set up great civilizations all over the planet, all over the planet. You see right there, we talking about over here the old Mecca over there. You see they blew it up. You see how they made it orange, that little area right there. You see, that's Mexico, Guatemala, that's the area of the great Olmec civilization. It started in the tropical zone. Even over here, even if you go down to Peru, even when you go down where they say they found the oldest bones on in the Western Hemisphere in Brazil. They found it in the tropical zone. You come into Africa, of course, we got West Africa, where we come from, tropical, Benin, Ghana, Songhai, Mali, the Nok civilizations, and all the others, Then you go to the east, you got southern Egypt. Part of Egypt is in the tropical zone. That's that part down in the south, near Aswan. Near Aswan. If you ever been to Egypt, you could tell when you get down there how more tropical it looks down there in Aswan. Then you got Nubia. You got Nubia, you got Kerma, you got Napata, you got Meroe, you got Meroe, all the great silver. Then you got Ethiopia, Aksum, Then you got Punt on the Horn of Africa. You got Southern Arabia, which in the Himyarites, which are the Hamurites, the Kushites that found the civilization, the Sabaean, civilization, Southern Arabia, going into India, southern India, from the middle all the way down, going into Angkor Wat, going into Champa, and these civilizations over there, and southern and also northern Australia too. So we gonna tap in, and because there's something key about these areas that you don't see nowhere else. Now the thing is, let me tap in before we get out of here. So when you looking at that Gulf region, see that Gulf region is, especially down near the where you talking about where the Olmecs was. You got to drop down a little bit. You got to drop down, but even up there, it's still subtropical. When you get along the Gulf region, it's subtropical. It's not tropical, but it's subtropical, meaning damn near, almost. So if you live in the near the Gulf, especially southern Florida, all of this was one culture at one time. The Olmec, they want you to make you believe that the Olmec was not, the dominant force even on the Mississippi. The Olmecs was the dominant civilization in that area clearly for 1,000 years. For 1,000 years, they was running, or more, a little bit over 1,000 years, a little bit over 1,000 years, about 1,000. They was clearly the dominant force in this part of the world. And so and the fact that they came, and you could look here too. So and so they always see how they, you see how they try to do the old man. See, they put the purple in there to make you think that that's just all the. No, that was the heartland. That was the heartland because that's where they landed. That's where they landed. Okay, that's exactly where they landed. And when you look at a lot of that terrain, it's much like Africa with the mountains and the rivers, and so they use some of the same technologies. And so when people get to talking about Egypt is in America, they only make that comparison because the Africans that came over used the rivers. I mean, do you know how many rivers is in Africa? Mighty rivers. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me let I'm gonna do this. Watch this. How many rivers on the continent of Africa are over 800 miles long? We're about to look this up. I want y'all to understand. Wow. 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 Man, do you know how many rivers in Africa that's long as hell? Now I'm gonna do this. How many rivers in well, I'm not, no, I ain't gonna say North America. How many rivers in the United States are over 800 miles long? Let's look at this. Because people keep making these comparisons. And you got a few now. You got 19. That's crazy. You got 19. You and so it's damn close now. I ain't gonna lie. I had to say that. It's damn close. Yes, indeed. You got the Missouri, 2,540 miles long. That's a long river. Mississippi, the Missouri is actually longer than the Mississippi. The Mississippi is 2,340. You got the Yukon, 1,980. The Rio Grande, 1,900. Arkansas, 1,469. Colorado, 1,450. Man, they even got one I can't even pronounce. I ain't about to try neither. Atchafalaya, Atchafalaya, then which is 1420, Ohio 1310, red 1290. So it's more than I thought. I can tell you that. It's more than I thought. It's more than I thought. But you got the Nile 4,130 off the top. The Congo 2,920. The Niger 2,060, 600. Zambezi 1,600. Kasi 1,410. Orange 13. So all of them, all of them, it got some, some long ass rivers. You know what I'm saying? All of them, both continents got some long ass rivers. You know, real talk. So, of course, people, in these areas learn how to master these rivers primarily the same way. Now, what's key is that they started in the South. They started down here at the mouth of the Mississippi. Even when you talk about the mound builders, They started in the south right off of the Gulf of Mexico, or the Gulf of Old Mecca. Let's tighten that up. Old Mecca. And they went from the south north. They didn't come from the north, the south. They came from the south north. And, a lot of what, the mounds are very similar. The mounds is very similar, but, they have some uniqueness between the old Mac and the mound builders. And some people say that is really is no different. Okay, it's really no different. So that's key. So when you come here and you look at a lot of these cities, Tampa, Tallahassee, Mobile, New Orleans, Houston, Corpus Christi, Brownville, all the way around to where the Omex it was. And so you see the mountains is right behind, but right here on this in the more lush area is where the Olmec heartland was. And so they dominated this Gulf of Mexico for over 1,000 years by far. Okay, by far they dominated over 1,000 years. And I'm gonna get off into the miles more deeper, and even them damn crazy ass Mormons, when they get to talking that crazy shit, Lehi's Landing, they start at the beginning of, but that's the I believe, what is that? What let me see. What's the name of that river? They need to goddamn clear that up a little bit. Let me see. I'm trying to spell that one out. It's still, I think that's the Chatter. I had to get it because they got it so damn blurry that I can't see it. You know what I'm saying? But even these Mormons start, where the supposed, okay, Chattahoochee. It's the Chattahoochee. I don't know why I didn't see that shit right there. I'm tripping. The Chattahoochee River. And so that's where they got they say they origin, that these Israelites came over here, and but they all start off that Gulf. They all start off that Gulf. Every last one of the great civilizations start in the South. They start in the South. Now let me show y'all something. Let me come down here. Matter of fact, I'm on the old Mac. I need to be on the Egypt. I need to be on the Egypt. I need to be on that Egypt. Let me get that one up there. Final boss. Let me get that one up there. And then we're going to, okay, here we go. Let me move out of this one. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Here you go. So when we talk about the tropical zone, even when you look at this is the proper orientation, because I mean, why is it? People say, "Oh, the map is upside down." It's not upside down. It's top side up. It's top side up. Why is it in this orientation? Because our people started at the beginning of the Nile. The beginning of the Nile's up there, especially when you see the lake, that's the criminally renamed Lake Victoria. Ain't no Lake Victoria in Africa. Okay, but I'll give you that just so you can have orientation when you come to a map. That's what it's gonna say. So I don't want you to be confused. And so once I get you where I want you to be, then I'll let you know this is a criminally renamed lake. Ain't no damn Lake Victoria in no Africa. Okay, but that is the source of the Nile, the White Nile. And then you got the Blue Nile coming out of Ethiopia. And so the source of the Blue Nile is Lake Tana, in Ethiopia. They meet up in Sudan at Khartoum, which means the elephant tusk. And from Khartoum, it become one river and it flows down to the Mediterranean. And so when you study ancient Egypt, you will see that the area down by the Mediterranean is called Lower Egypt. And the part that's closest to Sudan is called Upper Egypt. So the top is going towards South Africa. That's actually, that's up up north, and Egypt is down. Wait a minute, no, up south, down north. Let me get that right. Up south, down north. So Egypt is down north, and Ethiopia, Kenya is up south, up south. And so civilization took the path of the Nile River. And so Egypt would be at the bottom. It's not at the top. See, they put Europe at the top. And when people look at it, they assume that civilization started from Europe and came down into Africa, which is just not true. And so when you look at this, and again, when I get to studying these civilizations, it's without no doubt when you start looking at the grandeur of the ancient megaliths and monuments, that this is Africa is the first world, and what they call the Indian Ocean is no Indian Ocean, it's the Kushite Ocean. This is the second world. So the Africans, our Kushite family, Egyptian Kushite African family, move east first. They come out of Africa, they move east. So you see Egypt, you see Nubia, you see Aksum in Ethiopia, you see Southern Arabia, you see India, then you will see Sumeria right there in where you see Iran would have been Elam. Iraq is ancient Sumeria, Babylon. Then you come over, you got India. Then you move east, you got Angkor Wat, you got Champa. This is where, and with evidence, you understand, all of them are in proximity to Egypt, which is the fountain of world civilization. Egypt and Ethiopia. Egypt and Ethiopia together is the fountain of all civilization in this world. And you're talking about the great civilizations of the world with artifacts that cannot be disputed. Now, when you talk about now, this is in India. This is it's Colossus. It's Colossus. Let me pronounce that right. Colossus Temple. I think it's Colossus Temple in India. And so, and I'll get the pronunciation right. Show me how to pronounce that. Kailasa, Kailasa Temple. And so you see this shit right here, man. And I don't mean that in disrespect. They carved this mountain down. What type of rock did they use for this? What type of rock did they use for Kailasa Temple? Basalt. It was basalt. So they didn't use blocks. You know what I'm saying? They carved it down. And so that's the same technology that you see at Lalabella. The same, you can see how they carved it out, the same technology. You see there, you see in Ethiopia, in Oxa, and so even when you get over here to now a lot of people don't know this is Champa. This was, one of the ancient civilizations in what they call Vietnam today. But it existed side by side with Angkor Wat. Let me get the date. What are the dates, beginning and end dates for Angkor Wat civilization and Champa? Shit, they trying to say Champa is even older than damn Angkor Wat. They trying to say Champa is even older than Angkor Wat. You see, so they got Champa around 192 of the Common Era up until 1832. So you got Angkor Wat, and you see right there the great faces. There, Angkor Wat, that's the Mon Khmer, and they call them Mons because they came on the monsoons. You see the monsoons, and so you see the faces there. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. The woolly-headed Buddhas, okay, the woolly-headed Buddhas, okay, and so you talking about 192, or what Angkor Wat is from 802 to 1431 of the Common Era, okay, of the Common Era. So you're talking about it lasted over 600 years. It lasted over 600 years, but Champa went from 192 to 1832 of the Common Era. And so Champa lasted longer than Angkor Wat. Now let me this is Champa. And of course you see you come and you see the pyramid, you go into Bagan. The Bagan is Burma. You see, I mean, this is evidence you cannot blow away. You see, this is evidence you can't. So it's a lot of civilizations in this tropical zone, that's sharing this Kushite, Egyptian, high culture. It's a global Kushite empire. You cannot wash this away. So when people get to talking about North America, man, listen to me, man. Listen. And I want people to be. I don't have no shade on ancient civilization because I know that's us anyway. If they had something in North America on any level like that, I would show it. You know what I'm saying? That started with the Olmecs down in the South. And yes, it was some things, but it's not like that. It's not on that level because just like they shit standing, it would be standing over here. When you use a certain level of stone, when you use a certain level of stone and you using, especially how the Kushites and the Egyptians and the Indians, that shit is solid. It ain't good. That motherfucking temple, Kailasa temple, that motherfucker ain't going nowhere. That motherfucker gonna be there for thousands and thousands of years after this fucking presentation. That motherfucker ain't going nowhere. Yeah, they came out the same time. So, when we get to talking, matter of fact, I'm gonna come back. We're gonna end right here. And I'm gonna come back and we're gonna go back into these Kushite temples, these pyramid temples that you see over in southern India. We're gonna hit over there a lot deeper. So Make sure y'all click that Patreon. Get a video a thumbs up, like it because you love it, and give me 2 minutes and be ready because I'm gonna just come in. Boom. It ain't gonna be. It might be up there for a second, and I'm gonna come straight on in. So be ready. Black Power.